Hello and howdy, folks. Yesterday I watched The Grey for the second time. I saw it in the theater. I loved it. I happened to be going to Blockbuster last Monday, which was Labor Day, and lo and behold, they were having a Labor Day clearance sale. So all of their previewed movies were half off. So I picked up The Grey for, what, $7.50. And I think it's a great purchase. I really like the film. I'm giving it an 8. The Grey is about a group of men. I think they work for some type of oil manufacturer or, you know, something like that. I'm not entirely certain. But in the frozen wastelands of somewhere, the poles, certainly, perhaps deep Alaska. Again, we're never really told, as far as I can remember. They are going home for, you know, a break from work. They get in a plane crash, and turns out 7 people, 8, have to survive the wilderness, and namely they have to survive crashing into the den and hunting radius of a large pack of timber wolves. And the timber wolves are highly territorial and do not want these invading humans to be in their home, and well, they pick them off one by one. So that's what the film is about. Survival and man versus beast. And perhaps man is just a beast itself. Stars Liam Neeson. I can only tell you, like, really 2 people, and that's Liam Neeson and Dermot Mulroney are in this picture. As far as the whole, like, subgenre that exists now of Liam Neeson being a badass, I'd say that this is my favorite. I prefer this to Taken. I've only seen Taken one time and on disc. I enjoyed it, but I don't think that it tackles the subject matter that The Grey does. Let's see. It was written by Joe Carnahan and Ian Mackenzie Jeters. Produced by a lot of people. Ridley Scott being one of them, Joe Carnahan being another. Again, Joe Carnahan, you know, he's kind of had an up and down career for me. I think his debut film was Narc. I saw Narc in the theater, really enjoyed it. Actually saw it with my dad. We both really enjoyed it. I thought Narc was, you know, very gnarly, realistic, dirty. Then he made Smoking Aces. I can't even remember what that film was about. I put Smoking Aces as the worst film of its year. I hated that movie. So now he's come back. I think he's made some other stuff too, but he's come back with The Grey, and I think he's made his best film. And I hope he really just sticks to stuff like that. It was written, I already told you who it was written by, but Ian Mackenzie Jeters. It's based off of his short story. So he wrote a short story called Ghost Walker, and then he and Joe Carnahan made it a full-length script, and then Joe Carnahan directed it. So again, this is very much a passion project for Joe Carnahan, I feel, and I think that that kind of what makes it good. He's got a lot of involvement and what's the word I'm trying to think of? Investment. He's got a lot invested in the film, so I think that really comes across. You can tell that he really cares. Just right off the bat, the reason I'm not giving it a higher score, such as a 9, is because the film is very propulsive. It's, 2 hours long, and it just is nonstop. Probably feels like a 90-minute film tops. The characters encounter a lot of hardship and drama, and they have to do a lot of, what you can, could consider nearly impossible things, or, if, a group of humans would do something, like they do in this film, they would have to rest. They would have to rest and, recoup from this. They just would have to have the adrenaline go down, for one thing. But, there's no rest here. There's monumental things that happen, and there's just no time to sit and breathe. And in a way, I understand this is a film, and they just got to get going. But there's at times it leaves the real world and realism in the dust, which again is fine. I can happily suspend my disbelief for that amount of time. And there's even like no break from the wolves at one point, and really just all comes down to one scene for me. They have to jump from a cliff, from a very high cliff that would surely kill you if you fell from it. And they have to jump from it into a neighboring tree line and grab onto the trees. And they do this to escape from the wolves, which are right on their tail. And so they jump for safety into the trees, and as soon as they do that, the wolves are there. As soon as they make it down the tree, boom, they've bought themselves zero time, and they've spent like 20 minutes building up this scene about how they're going to jump from this cliff and how they're going to survive and what are they going to do. And so they go through all this rigmarole because the wolves are right on the heels, and then they jump into the trees, and then the wolves are waiting for them at the bottom of the trees. So it's just like, well, okay. Again, that's just the only thing that I can even remotely complain about this film. I think it's beautifully shot. I mean, it would appear that they're obviously on location somewhere. It's absolutely gorgeous scenery. It's also at times not scenery at all. There's just nothing to see but snow and blinding wind. And so there's a lot of desolation, a lot of isolation. I think that comes across. The action, I think the direction is well suited for the action because, when the wolves attack, it's not very clear. It's often close up. We can't really tell what's going on. We can see the wolf running for them, and we know, oh, well, the wolf is going to attack. But, when the wolf is attacking and biting and gnashing, we can just see close-ups of the fur, the teeth. And I think that's fitting because I think if a wolf were actually attacking you, there wouldn't be much clarity of vision. You would pretty much just be reacting on instinct, and it would all be a massive furry blur of probably, teeth and blood. And that's what this is here. We never get like a clear cut, a throat being ripped out, but which happens a lot. We don't see that clearly happen. One, because we don't need to see it clearly happen, and if we were in that situation, I doubt you'd see it clearly happen. So I think it just remains true. I think it tries to remain authentic somewhat, and I think the directing style really plays to the story. The story itself, I think, is very good. It deals with a lot of themes that I don't feel that most films do. I think the film is brave. It deals a lot with loneliness, loss, suicide, the loss of faith, atheism. It questions the existence of God outright. In fact, if you want to look at it that way, it, proves that, God is not there, that you have to do it yourself. And I think that is not what a lot of mainstream films have the courage to pronounce. So that I admire that a lot. Liam Neeson's performance in this is fantastic. All of the acting is really good. You know, obviously they're in a situation that you would never want to find yourself. All of the, you know, it's very heavy at times. There's always drama. You know, everyone's at their wits' end, and all of the actors bring their A game. All of the characters have their moments. Again, there's like at the most 8 people, and they all have their moment. I think that's fantastic. And each character is well fleshed out. Each character in that moment has their story to tell. And they all seem, you know, true. But Liam Neeson, he gets so many great scenes in this film. And it's so many scenes that actors just live for. I mean, there's no better scene for an actor to do than yelling at God. I mean, that's like a gift from God for an actor. Just to be given a scene where the person you're acting with is the sky, and you're just, you know, screaming at God. You know, it doesn't get much better than that. And Liam Neeson has one of those scenes in this film, and he is amazing. I think it's, you know, one of his better performances. All the while he has to be this, you know, badass who can lead these men to safety, perhaps, and, you know, save himself in the process. You know, I don't really want to say much about what actually happens to the men, whether they make it out or not. I mean, you definitely have to see the film. You know, it's not a very hopeful film, so that's pretty much all I'll say. But definitely watch the credits. There's something after the credits that's very important. I tend to just do that, period. When I see a film in the theater, unless I have to like book it to another movie, I always watch the credits until the house lights come up. And usually, you know, there's nothing. Usually. But I was highly surprised to find a little epilogue after the credits to this film. So definitely when you're in it, stay till the end of the credits. It's not, if you've seen the film, it's not going to help solve the mystery, but it'll definitely enhance it. There will definitely be more to think about. Really, I like the film. It's one of my favorite of the year. This will probably definitely be in my top, you know, 20 of the year, I would say. I mean, I've given a lot of 8s, I know, this year, but this is definitely one of my favorite 8s. You know, it meant a lot to me. It means a lot to me to watch it. I identify a lot with the film and the themes of the film, and just to watch Liam Neeson in one of his great performances, I think, is a treat. So I don't really know what else to say about it. It's gorgeous. It's well acted. It's well written. It means something. It's true. It's heartfelt. You know, I don't know what else to say. One of Liam Neeson's best performances. I believe it's Joe Carnahan's best film. Yeah, if you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it. So that is The Gray, and it's a solid 8 from me. Thank you very much.